Hello everybody, welcome back to another Halo CE modding tutorial, and today we're going to be doing the first part of how to create a custom weapon from scratch using Blender and the Halo toolset add-on for Blender. Which, by the way, every time Blender updates, you have to reinstall the add-on, and then if it doesn't work when you reinstall it, go to the main page on GitHub, and then install. There might be a new version of the add-on itself. I think I ran into a problem with that recently when I started trying to get the vehicles done and the weapons done. So, yeah, just be wary of that. And then if the add-on stops working eventually, then I guess we're all out of luck. So that sucks. Or you could just use an older version of Blender. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, this is the first part. We're going to be talking about how to create the GBX models for the first-person view of your weapon and the world view of your weapon. So if you see it laying on the ground, or if you see it being held in third person or by a marine or something, basically they're the same GBX model. You just have to take out one marker. We're going to be talking about the markers, which are pretty easy to understand, and we're going to be talking about the collision geometry, which is also pretty easy, especially for a gun. When you're doing vehicles and stuff, everything gets a lot more complicated, but it's still, everything is pretty much the same, just more complicated depending on if you're making a weapon or a vehicle or a entirely new actor. It just varies. But yeah, so get Blender working, get the tool set working, make your model right now, because actually no, I'm gonna make a model quick. I'm gonna make the shittiest model you've ever seen because I want to do this fast. But I already have a rifle working. It's obviously not a good model either, but I have to physically do it and talk through it. I can't just like throw it up and say here it is. That doesn't work. But yeah, so you need to start in your data directory as with everything else. You might not have a weapons folder here, so create a weapons folder unless you want everything else to be mirrored to a different location, because whenever you compile anything from the data directory, it's going to mirror it to your tags directory here. So make sure your directories are where you want them and all that stuff. So data, weapons, then you need to make a folder for everything that's going to make up your weapon. What the hell am I going to call this? Let's call this a stick, because that's basically what it's going to be. I'll do complex animations. I'll try. All right, so go into your whatever your weapon folder is, and then for this we're gonna need two or three. You might need to do bitmaps. Well, if you want your weapon to look good, you need to make your own bitmaps. But I'm not really gonna cover that in this because I think I've done that for like almost every other video. The model swap for a character, the map making, that creating a bitmap for a map is the exact same process for everything. And I think I did it for the devices video part 1, which I never made a part 2 to that. But yeah, the bitmaps just aren't the focus of this. And I'm gonna be using existing bitmaps on my weapon just to make things quick. But if you don't know how to do that, you can watch any of those videos and I should cover it. So I'm going to create the bitmaps folder anyway, just so you see what's going on. Then we need to make a models folder. All these must be named exactly like this too. And then a new one, we need to create a physics, if I can spell it correctly. We need to create a physics folder. This is for the collision geometry, because that's basically the point of collision geometry, is how it physically interacts with the world. And when we get to vehicles, there's a physics tag too, so that's a whole other thing. But yeah, so bitmaps, models, physics, and then eventually we're gonna need an animations folder, but that's probably the next video. So this is where I usually keep my Blender file, just so it's easily accessible. But now you need to create a new Blender file here, and we need to do this. So we'll get rid of the camera, the light. I guess we'll leave the cube because I'm going to be making an incredibly basic shape or weapon here. Actually, I'm literally going to make a stick just to make this quick. So, or I guess just a rectangle. So make your model, make it however complex you want it. If you want to just do a test run, make it some whatever incredibly basic stuff. We'll stretch this out so it's literally like a bar of steel or something. So make your weapon here. Actually, I think just so when I do the animations, just so I have stuff to actually animate, I'll throw in some stuff here. So we'll go into edit mode for this. We will add another cube. This will be the magazine. And we can literally make it we can make it an entirely separate object. Or not a separate object, but just add something in. Because for the GBX models, you don't have to worry about like can't update edge errors and stuff like that, the stuff you have to worry about for map making. But when you do your collision geometry for everything, you have to follow the exact same rules that you do for map making. So every edge can only have two faces attached to it. And the normals have to be calculated to the correct way. Either all on the inside or all on the outside. So we'll make a incredibly basic little magazine there, and then we will add another shape in here, add another cube in here, and this will just be the charging handle to pull it back and move back when we fire. And we'll just move it right there. It could be a little bit bigger. What's this guy's Y position? Just copy that. Make sure all those are in line, and then this is the little thing. That's a little thing that will pull back in a reload animation, or that will fire back when we fire the weapon. Move it out a little bit just to make it obvious. So there we go. An absolutely horrendous looking weapon. But the collision geometry for this is going to be really easy. But all collision geometry is easy. Because you don't have to make complex collision geometry at all. It has to be like just basic. But yeah, we got like 3 parts to our weapon here. That's all within the same mesh up here. It's not like 3 separate cubes here. It's all one mesh. And now, in object mode, we need to go to the data here, the Halo regions, and we can just add a region. This doesn't matter much. You can just leave it unnamed region. I think the base game, the weapons in the base game, they have the unnamed region for their weapons, because there's only one region for this, really. So we'll have the unnamed region, and I learned this the hard way. Oh my god, I did this so many times when I was trying to figure out the vehicle stuff. I couldn't get the regions working. It turns out you have to assign everything to the region. Who would have thought? So you go into edit mode, select everything, all your vertices, or whatever mode you're in, select everything, assign it to the unnamed edge. Deselect, select, make sure it's assigned. There you go. That fixes the whole region issue. I cannot believe it took me so long to figure that out, but it did. But now, that's all working. That's the model done. So now we have to throw in the markers, I believe. No, we have to make an armature. Yeah, we have to make an armature first, which is very, very simple. For this right here, we need 3 bones. We need a bone for the gun itself, for the frame. We need a bone for the magazine because we need to pull that out when we reload the weapon in the animations. And then we need a bone for the charging handle because, again, that's going to be moving separately from the gun in our animations. So that's very easy to do. So in object mode, we will hit add, armature, a viewport display in front. We'll just scale this guy up a little bit. Doesn't really matter. We'll apply everything before then. And now we'll go into edit mode. And we should be able to just add bones like crazy. This bone will be for the magazine. And then we'll add one more bone for the charging handle. And it can be just this simple. You don't need to make the bones move in a specific way. In fact, it's probably better to have the bones just upright like this, unless you're making like a character skeleton. But this same thing applies for vehicles too. It's best to keep the bones like this. So there we go. That's all those, and now we just have to name these. So this one, I believe, you can. Oh no, wait. You might want to name these bones very specifically. No, you don't. Frame gun. Yeah, no, you don't have to worry about the bone names. You shouldn't. Then we'll call this frame charger. Frame charger. Yeah, I'm thinking like 3 videos ahead, so don't worry about the bone names yet. And then frame magazine. So now we have all 3 bones that we need, and now we need to parent them. We'll parent the magazine first. So Control P, select the child first. Shift click the parent. Control P, keep offset. There we go. And now do the same here. Everything needs to be parented to the frame bone, and there we go. There's our armature. And now, again, this is pretty much very similar to the character swap, and the device. You know, model, armature, parent the 2, set vertex groups. So we'll parent these, select the mesh, then shift click the armature in here, and then parent the Control P with automatic weights. There we go. Now it's parented to that, and we select this, and now we need to set the vertex groups correctly. So we'll go back into this, edit mode, select the frame charger. We only want these 8 right here to be that, so we'll remove everything, and then just assign those. Make sure, there we go, all those vertices are assigned to that bone. The frame gun has a bit too many, so hit remove, deselect all those, assign, there we go, and then the magazine, just like that. And the good thing is, one vertice can only be assigned to one vertex group. So you don't have to worry about like the charger and the gun like fighting over one vertice, I don't think. You might not. Well, no. Don't just ignore what I said. Do this. Holy shit. But there you go. That's the armature all done. Very simple. Even if you have like tons and tons of vertices, even if it's a very complex weapon, you're gonna need like 3 bones max, unless you're making some like whack ass weapon where there's like 2 magazines and a fucking I don't even know what. You don't need many bones for this. So that is that. Now we need to make the markers, which you do need. The markers are what you need to name very specifically because they're referencing. How do I say it? They're referencing things that already exist in the animations for the actual character. That didn't make much sense, but you have to name the markers very specifically is the point. And the way you make a marker is very simple. You add you can probably add anything, but when you import tags and stuff into Blender, it's usually just a UV sphere just like this. So you just add a UV sphere like this, and then to create a marker, you hit hashtag. That is what makes it a marker. You're gonna get some extra options with this hashtag as soon as you do it. And then the first marker we need is called shit. Is it cyborg left hand or left hand cyborg? Left hand. Fuck. Cyborg. Now this is for Master Chief, cyborg. You can also add left hand marine to do the marine thing, to make it so a marine can use the weapon, and every other character as well. Although if you want it to be one-handed, if you want it to be a one-handed weapon, you don't need this technically. So if you're doing like an elite, and if you just want a one-handed weapon, you don't need this. You shouldn't need this marker right here. But So yeah, you create a marker just like that, and then you move it into position. So this marker right here, the left-hand marker, is where the cyborg's left hand will be in-game once we get this all working. You're gonna need to rotate this marker a little bit, but we'll get to that way later. It's very, once you have everything compiled and set up, you can recompile it and you can re-export the JMS and then recompile the GBX, and it'll be pretty seamless. So you can make changes pretty quick once everything's all set up. So we'll put the left hand right there, right up a little bit. That might be the order of the words might be incorrect, but I'll go check that out later. So next, we need a smoke. Oh no, hold on. We need to parent every single marker to the frame bone and also add the unnamed region. So, and this is the exact same as every other thing. So add the region, go into edit mode, make sure you have everything selected, assign it to the region, make sure it's all selected and done. So there you go, that's that. And now, select, no, we can parent in here. Go select your marker, go to the relations tab right here, or the object tab, then you go down to the relations, and then you select parent, armature, and then parent type bone, and then you select the bone, and you want it to be the frame gun, and it's gonna move it way over here, and we'll just move it right back up here. And as you can see, it's parented. So that's what you need to do. And then you can position it. So there you go, that is where the left hand will be. And also, for every marker, you have to leave the origin at the center of that marker's geometry. So if your origin is ever way off, you just need to select your marker like this, set origin, and then origin to geometry. The little dot needs to be at the very center. All right, so now we need to create the all the other markers. So we'll go add mesh UV sphere. Just kind of move it up here so I can see it. Armature, bone, gun, frame gun, and then we have this sphere right here. We will name it to hashtag smoke, and that is for when the weapon fires. This is where the smoke will emanate from, so we'll put it like right there. And we just do this for, I believe, 3 more things we need. Another marker, armature, bone, frame gun, sphere, hashtag. The next one, primary ejection. That is for the rounds that are flying out when you fire, the ejection port. So primary ejection. You can also have a secondary ejection, but I mean, to be honest, you can make some wild fucking guns if you really want to. We'll put it right there. So that's where, and we want it to be lined up with the magazine. Kind of like that. So this is where the rounds will be ejecting from. You know, this will go back, the round will eject. That's just basically what will happen. And now we need the primary trigger, which is that's basically the round being fired out, or the fire, literally the fire, or the what would you call it? The muzzle flash. There we go. That's what you call it. The muzzle flash of the gun. So armature, bone, frame gun. Way off. And now, hashtag primary trigger. Just like that. And this will be just kind of a little bit in front of the smoke, a little bit below and in front of the smoke. Like that. Oops, nope. Want it to be right in line with the barrel, so it doesn't look like it's all screwed up. That looks good enough. And now this would be fine for the first-person weapon. For your first-person weapon, a left hand, so that you're holding it, or not. If you want to be a single-handed weapon, you don't need the left-hand one. I haven't tested that out yet, but you can import, you know, like the plasma pistol and just look at what the markers are and figure that out. Then the primary ejection for the shells, the primary trigger for the muzzle flash, smoke, there you go, and then that's the mesh itself. So that's all our markers done. That's the mesh done. Oh no, one more marker for the in-world version of the model. You need a marker called ground point, and that's basically the point at which it's going to be lying on the ground. So move that over here. We'll name it first this time. Hashtag ground point, and make sure all of these are named very specifically. If you want to open a new Blender file and import a weapon, so you can see what the markers are actually called, you want to import the GBX model of a weapon. When you do that, just import that and look at what the marker names are, and see what we can use. So there we go. That's done. Armature, bone, frame gun, and the ground point, you kind of want that to be at the center of the gun-ish, and then slightly off to one side. This might be screwed up because the gun I made was like this, and the marker was like off to the... Whoa! What the fuck happened to my ear? What the hell? Okay, my ear just went out there for a second. Wow. Anyway, holy shit, what the hell happened? Jesus Christ. Anyway, you want it to be slightly on the positive Y coordinates, I think. Last time I had my gun rotated, it'd be facing... The barrel will be pointing at us directly right now, the way I had it done last time, so... but again, once you get the model working in Halo, you can make changes to it very easily. Actually, I think... we'll just rotate it 90 degrees, just so it matches what I did last time. All right, and we got this object, apply rotation. This, we can apply the scale for this. The markers, remember, you need the origin of every marker to be at that marker's geometry. So you don't want to go object, apply all transformations, because that's going to set the origin to the world origin. This is not, that's not how it's done. You can apply rotation, you can apply scale, but do not do location, because that'll move the origin right there. So you want the origin to be all jacked up with these numbers. So there we go. There's a ground point. Now this is the 3D version, or not the 3D, the in-world version of your weapon. And then if you just hide this is enough to get a first-person model done. So now, all we have to do is create the collision geometry, which is, for this weapon, is going to be, I can literally just copy this. Yeah, I can literally copy everything. So we'll just duplicate this, go right here, and then collision geometry, I believe, has to be named very specifically. And I don't think your mesh has to be named specifically either. Or it does. I have to hold on, I have to go check out my other stuff quick. Okay, so the way you want to name this is you want to, for the mesh, you want to put you don't have to do this, but it's a good way of organizing it. So unnamed, the name of the region you're using, so unnamed region, then the permutation, so that is going to be the name of this file. So I'm going to do base. So when I export this, I want to name the file base, because that's going to match the permutation name here. And then you want to put the level of detail, which is going to be super high. And that's literally the level of detail. It can go from super low to super high. It should be 5 levels. And every time you import a GBX model, you'll see like everything has at least 3, a medium, high, and super high permutation. But we just need the super high. You don't need to make a whole bunch of different things like that. So that's that. And then for the collision geometry, we need to do a little bit more specific. We have to put an @ sign right here. And then we do the region again. So whoops, unnamed space permutation, which is base, what you're going to name the file, and then we have to put the name of the bone that this is representing in the collision geometry, which the only thing we need to represent is the frame, the base of the gun. So I believe I called that frame gun, if I remember correctly. So if we go into here, yes, the bone that is controlling everything is called frame gun, like that. And so it's at unnamed base frame gun. So that's the collision geometry. And these look the exact same. If I hide this, it's the exact same. But if you have a very complex weapon, you're going to want to dumb it down, because you're not going to see the collision geometry. It's just for like detecting things. Oh, also remember, when you're making collision geometry, you have to follow the rules for map making. So that you can't have an edge with more or less than two faces attached to it, and you can't have open edges. The normals have to be done correctly. Back face culling, I don't think everything looks good. If you have overlaps like this, where is it? If there's overlaps like this, this should be fine, because this edge right here still only has two faces, and it doesn't. The faces intersecting don't really mean much. So this should all be good, and that should be ready for exporting as a first person and a third person weapon. Oh shit! No, we have to. God, we have to add the materials, which I'm gonna cover the entire thing in like one material. So oh, and you have to do it for your collision geometry as well. Do you have to? You might have to do. You might have to add the correct region to the collision geometry too. I'll check that out too. Yes, so when you create your collision geometry, you also have to add the unnamed region. But you don't need any of these vertex groups. Yeah, I literally duplicated this, so the region stayed the same and all the vertex groups are the same, but we don't need the vertex groups. So make sure, yeah, make sure the entire weapon is assigned to the unnamed region for your collision geometry, your mesh, and your markers. And that should be that. Make sure for your mesh, all the correct vertices are assigned to the correct bone. And then make sure all of your markers are parented to the bone specifically. You can't just parent it to the armature. It has to be this bone specifically. So every marker should look like this in the relations tab. Parent armature, type bone, and then the frame gun. Or the frame gun. Whatever the base of your gun's, whatever the bone base, fuck you, whatever, I know. You understand what I'm trying to say, probably. The center of your gun? I can't word things correctly. So make sure all that's done. And now I'm just gonna add, I believe it's called gun. That's a shader that already exists, so I just need to add it in here, use nodes, set it a random color. Right now it's assigned to the whole gun, and we'll assign another one just because, and the other one is called, one of the other ones is called bolt, just like that. Do that, assign, and wait, no, I think bolt, no. Grip. Bolt is see-through. So right now, everything is assigned, all the vertices are assigned to the gun material. I want these four to be assigned to the grip material. So assign them to that, deselect, select, just like that. Go back to the gun, make sure, yep, none of those are assigned to the gun one. There we go. And this is where you would assign your bitmaps as .tiff files in this area. You would go to base color, image texture, and set all that up. I've covered it several other times. All right. All right, that should be everything. Actually, this time. Yeah, we should be able to get this into Halo. We're not going to be able to use it at all, but we should be able to spawn it in Sapien. All right. So we'll save this file. Back, stick, models. I'll put it in there. We'll call this stick.blend. There we go, just so it's there. And now we have to export this, kind of specifically, not too crazy. Everything's there. File, export, file, export, JMS. And now we're going to export the in-world version, the one that needs the ground point marker. So we're in stick models right here. We don't need hidden geometry. We don't have any physics geometry. Non-render doesn't matter. So basically what all this is, render geometry is your actual model and including the markers. Collision geometry is stuff with that little @ sign. And then physics geometry are things with the physics geometry is only works with vehicles, and it basically operates like a marker, but there's one extra setting somewhere. It might be it's somewhere in here. Halo, not here. There's a mask type. Halo object properties. Here it is. So right here, as you can see, if I click on this, the Halo object properties for this is basically just name override and unique ID. That's nothing. But if you add the hashtag in front of it, then you get the mask type. And as you can see, we have render, collision, physics, and all. So that's referring to what it will be exported as. So all of these markers right here, they're all set to render, which means they're going to be part of the GBX model. If I were to set these to collision or physics, they would be they'd be exported with that file. Because when we export this, because we have this collision geometry, there's going to be a GBX model and there's going to be a collision geometry tag. Or collision geometry JMS. There's going to be a GBX JMS and then the collision JMS. You'll see when we export, but yeah, that's what that little hashtag does. It basically lets Blender know, hey, this is a marker, and then it gives you this mask type to determine how to export it. But we're not going to be worrying about physics at all during this entire thing. That's just for vehicles. So, all right, that's out of the way. So now we will export. File export JMS. Stick models. Don't need hidden. Don't need non-render. Don't need physics. So now we're going to be exporting the render geometry and the collision geometry, which is going to give us 2 files in here. And we're going to be calling this base because the file that we're exporting right now is going to be the permutation that we're using. And that's the name we have here. Base. That's the permutation name I put in. I don't think it matters too much, but better safe than sorry. Everything else should be checked. All right, export JMS. There we go. Now we'll minimize that. And we'll go back a couple folders to our stick models, and we have our base.jms and base collision.jms. And now we need to compile these. But first we need to move the collision JMS to the physics folder, because that's how there's a physics command. No, there's a collision geometry command, and it looks for a physics folder, just like this, and just like the models command looks for a models folder. So we're gonna we need another version of this. So now we're going to export the first person version of our model. So we'll hide the ground point because we don't need that, but everything else should be the same. Oh shit, I didn't check if I did that correctly. Left hand cyborg. Okay, left hand and then the character. So I named that correctly. So hide the ground point, and then we'll export again. File export JMS. We don't want to export the hidden geometry because the ground point is hidden. But because the ground point is hidden, we don't want to export that. So now we'll name this FP for first person, and we don't need the collision. We just need the GBX model, because in first person you're not colliding with anything. Everything in first person, the first person arms, the first person weapon, all of that is invisible to everyone else except the player. So don't need that. So we just export the GBX model. So export JMS. That's that. And now we have a FP JMS and a base JMS. And we need to put the we need to put this in an entire separate area. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Well, we could I guess we'll try this. If I put FP here and then model another models folder, so when we try and model it, it'll automatically find it. If I put that like that, that should make things much simpler, but it might name it the exact same thing, but we can rename it later. All right, so now we just need to compile all this, then slap it together in Gorilla with a .weapons tag, and then load it up in Sapien and place it, and we should be able to. All right. So now we open command prompt and tool. Then you go to the basically you go to this folder right here because it's going to look for a models folder by default. So we just type when we hit tool model. When we do this, it automatically goes to the data directory, weapons, and then stick, and then it should find the base.jms file. So there we go. Base.jms. There it is. Now we will do the collision geometry, which is going to be looking for a physics folder. So we basically put in the same path with a different command. So tool, collision, a dash, not an underscore, a dash, geometry, collision geometry like that. Then same path, weapons, stick, error, Z buffer triangles, yikes. How the hell did I fuck that up? Well, here we go. That should be a... Was I full of shit with the overlap thing? I might be full of shit with that. Whatever, let's import the WRL, I guess. Import, whoa, file, import, WRL. When you get errors with vehicles and weapons, the WRL will go right to the base. It'll go to the main directory. With maps, it'll go right to your map directory itself, but with these, it'll be back a couple. Okay, where the hell is this error? Oh, okay, so faces intersecting is a problem. Okay. Shit, so it has to be one continuous thing. Well, we can get rid of that. So yeah, I guess I was full of shit with that. I'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. That's a lot of different stuff. The names of the meshes don't seem to matter at all. So, we can hide the... Oh my god, I don't think I gave the correct, I didn't assign a material to the collision geometry either. Okay, get rid of that. Now we have the collision geometry. Get rid of everything else. Oh, to fix this up. The collision geometry, I believe, yeah, that just needs a metal material. So, oh no, we want to be looking at this. Yes, this. Here we go. Metal, and the metal, and this you'll never see this. This is just letting the game know what type of material is this. What sound is it going to make when it collides with something? It's a metal sound, so that's what that's for. You're not going to see it. You don't have to make a custom thing for that. Just type metal for that. And you can import other stuff in other collision geometries. Fuck, I'm just like trailing off. In order to import a collision geometry or a physics tag, you have to import the GBX model, you have to select the armature of that imported thing, and then you can import the collision geometry or the physics geometry or whatever it's called. to look at what you're doing. All right. Now we have to fix this. So, well, we don't need this. That's not important to the collision geometry. That little charging handle, that's really not important at all. So we'll get rid of that. This is going to be a pain in the ass, getting this to work, huh? Well, okay, we can just do this the easy way. Extrude this, scale it down, make it... Oh shit, that worked perfectly. Make it basically that, extrude it down. Just like that. Now we can get rid of all these vertices, the interlocked ones, or the overlapping ones, and now it should all be one thing, all connected. So yeah, I was wrong with that collision geometry. It has to be all connected. And the way it intersects with the GBX model doesn't matter. So there's our collision geometry. There's that. Okay. So yeah, I was wrong with the geometry itself, and I was wrong with the materials. So get rid of that. That's broken. And we should just need to export the collision geometry. So go back in here, save this. Now we'll file exports JMS. We'll only check collision geometry. We'll name this base. And oh, also scale should be default. Oh no, I didn't scale this correctly. All right, god damn it. All right, we'll go to Halo tools on the side here. Where is it? Scale model helper. We're spawning the captain here. Okay, that's not too crazy. It's a bit small. It's a bit small, but we should be able to see it. So yeah, I didn't screw that up too bad. But yeah, you have to make sure your model is scaled properly to the guy you're trying to have use it. All right, file, export, JMS, base, only collision geometry. Oh, the armature. Do you have to export it with the armature? No, the armature has to be active when you export anything. Okay. Base, only collision. There we go. Okay. Now we move this to the physics folder. We do this again. Collision geometry, updated. Collision model. Oh, it created the collision model. Oh, wait. Oh, it did create the collision model. It just, that Z buffer thing. Okay, so yeah, you could do that. I'm off my game today, I guess. Jesus, but well, it didn't have its material anyway, so I guess it's good that I thought I screwed that up more than I did. Okay, so there we go. Now, oh, also, now we have to do the first person one. So I believe the first person is in up to commands stick, then in the FP folder, there should be a models folder in there, which will then find the FP thing, fp.jms. We don't need a collision model for that, or collision geometry for that. And now we have our first person model, third person model, collision geometry. And now we should be able to spawn this in Halo. Alright, so now we need to go to the tags directory that's mirrored in that data directory. So tags, weapons, stick. There's our stick.gbx model, stick.collision geometry, fp, fp.gbx model. Which we're not going to be using this at all in this video. So now we need to go in here, open Gorilla. We got all my other stuff. Oh yeah, I made a transport vehicle. Wow, that vehicle's video, all those videos are going to be kind of nightmarish. I still haven't fully figured it out, but I got it like 90% done. I know how to, I can get a vehicle in Halo working. There's just some little things I have to tweak and figure out still. But, oh no, we don't want a new or open. So we want to file, new. We want to create a weapon tag like this. And I don't think we need to do too much of this. We'll just, the model is the GBX model. The collision model is the collision model. We don't need physics for a weapon. We don't need an animation graph for a weapon just sitting on the ground. When we get, there's a whole bunch of extra shit in here that we aren't going to really need to touch yet. When we get down to interface, we have the first person model right here. That is going to be our first person GBX model. And then we have first person animations, which that is going to be next video, creating those first person animations, which is going to end up being our own personal animation graph. And then the rest of this is just kind of whatever. We're not even going to pick it up. We're just going to spawn it in Sapien because this is like half finished, if that even. So model, we need to go to tags, weapons, stick that GBX model. Then we need to go to collision model, collision geometry, and there might be a few more settings. If this crashes, does not, well, yeah, we'll turn off the shadow just to make it as visible as possible. We'll make it brighter than it should be. And we don't need to set any functions yet. I don't fully understand functions and like how they work really. I basically just copied the assault rifle ones for what I did. But yeah, this is just a bare bones weapon. Label. This is going to be important later. We'll call this stick. This will be very important later when it comes to making us play. And oh, it says right here, the string used to match this weapon to an animation. Can I finish the sentence, please? Animation mode in the unit carrying it. All right, let's see if this works in Halo. So we'll save the tag. We'll go back into the right here, and then we'll call this stick. No, stick dot weapon. Why is it a notepad? What the fuck? Whatever. All right, and we don't need gorilla. Now we will go into Sapien. And if we can spawn it, that's a good start. But if it crashes, then whatever. All this stuff should be working. We'll just have to add in animations and stuff like that. If I try and go pick it up, that might cause a game crash too, because I don't have any of that set up. All right, here we go. So this is my custom vehicle. As you can see, I kind of threw all the textures on there. I half-assed it because I'm just trying to get this done. But the model itself isn't crazy bad. That's my little rifle that I made. Again, half-assed the shit. But now we will try and see if we can actually get the weapon in. So we'll go to scenery, weapon, add. All this will be jacked up. HCEK, tags, weapons, stick dot weapon. No errors in the bottom there. Objects, items, weapons, spawn this. None, and we'll try and see if the stick. There we go. There's the stick. It's a little hard to see. And you can kind of see it here. Yeah, you can see it. It worked. We got it in Halo. Now we have to, we basically have to configure that .weapons tag to make it able to be picked up and all this stuff. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do with bitmaps to, you know, like when you get the prompt to pick it up, that's gonna be like a custom bitmap, a custom string. It's a whole bunch of little things. But yeah, that's That's the bare bones so far. Yeah, this went a bit longer than I expected because I kind of fumbled through it, but in the end it worked. And I guess it's good to watch me screw up, so you can screw up too and figure out why you screwed up. I don't know. But yeah, next time will be the animations, the first-person animations. And then the video after that will probably be configuring the .weapons tag and then getting the third-person animations working. And then there might be a part 4 after that of getting, all the prompt messages working and all that stuff correct. I'll probably do that. I might take my time with that last part because I'll be working on the vehicles, but by the end of this, you should be able to get a weapon into Halo and shoot it, have it hold, I guess, as many rounds as you want, and do a whole bunch of stuff like that. So, if you made it here, thank you for watching. If you watch any of my other stuff, thank you for watching that as well. If you want to support the channel, you can hit the join button on the homepage or the link in the description, and I will see you in whatever I decide to do next time. So thank you for watching.